After thrashing all night on the car, I decided it was time to take it out and test. With no reasonable explanation as to why it was doing what it was doing, the only way we would find out is change some things and test again. At this point, I thought I saw a little water come out, so we decided it was best to go ahead and back up and do another burnout just to make sure. I did it all with the hood off so I could have a good view of the expansion tank and see if anything was happening. Didn't even get to put my helmet on yet, and back on the trailer it goes.
Well, this is not going according to plan. Last night, into the wee hours of the morning, I did absolutely everything on this thing. Checked the torque on the heads, checked pressures, coolant pressure, checked cylinder pressure. I checked so much crap. New radiator cap. I mean, we've done everything. Today, I even went live for a little bit. I let the thing run in the driveway for like 20-30 minutes. I put it on the trans brake in the driveway with the pressure connector, with the pressure tester hooked up to the radiator. That looked all good. My man's in a rush. We ain't in no rush. I don't know what to do. Like, shit. It is spraying. There's a little hole in the top of that reservoir that I'm assuming is just like an air hole, you know what I mean, so it can flow and not get all jacked up under pressure and everything. And when I let go of that trans brake button in the burnout, that thing went whew and shot clear out of that hole. So it is getting so much pressure, it's pushing so much water into that thing. Just to be sure, I said, hey, let's not get wild. I've been messing with this thing. Everything could be wet. Stuff could just be getting sprayed around. Let's do another burnout. Let's not send it down the road, turn the nitrous on, do all that. Let's do another burnout, see what happens. Do another burnout, same thing. It's spraying. I'm not really sure what we're gonna do. We're supposed to go racing tonight. The likelihood that this car is going racing tonight, I think, is very minimal. I just don't feel comfortable. That's why I came out to test today, because I wanted to make sure that if I go take it racing, water on the road is no big deal. I don't give a shit about that. We can clean it up. Don't nobody really care about water on the road. It's not the end of the world. What is the end of the world is being at the 330, water coming out, getting on the rear tires and going sideways into the guy next to you. Not a good time. I'm not sure what to do. What time is it now? We have got 5 hours until we're supposed to meet to go racing, and we've got a race car here that doesn't work. I got a funny feeling we're gonna end up taking it fully apart to try to find out. Like, I refrained from taking the heads off last night because there was a lot of good thought processes that I had. People in the comments, hey, check this, check this, check this. We checked all kinds of stuff out, and for the most part, like, everything checked out. There was nothing I found that I was like, oh, there's the smoking gun, that's the issue. The only way we're gonna find out is to tear it apart more, and at that point, who knows what we're gonna find. We are back to the house now, and unfortunately, as you guys saw, things did not go the way I was hoping to. After all the tests, everything, done so much stuff trying to figure it out, I went and got the combustion leak detector deal here, hooked it up. It was changing some color, and actually, funny thing that I noticed is when I pulled this valve cover off, I kind of caught a whiff of coolant, which was a little weird because we never really had coolant in there anyway, but neither here nor there. I can tell you guys, we're probably dealing with a head gasket issue. I'm not sure what the exact issue is. Did I blow it? Was there already an issue with the head? Did I do something wrong on installation? There could be a bunch of things that are wrong, but we're not going to figure that out until I get it torn apart. So now it's time to get it torn apart, figure out what's wrong, go from there. Because the only way to fix it is to figure out what's wrong first and make it happen. So I'm gonna get to tearing this thing apart and check back in with you guys once it's apart and we start having an idea of what's going on here. Alright, now we've got the heads off, checked everything out, and it's time to figure out or to start talking about analyzing what went wrong. One thing that definitely went wrong was heat. It was definitely getting pretty hot. I've looked at all of the pistons and all the heads and everything, and so far everything mostly checks out okay as far as physical damage. You can see here we got some gas, some exhaust gases. What I'm thinking that has happened here, stay with me now. What I'm thinking has happened is we've lifted heads and pressurized the cooling system. I'm thinking it's lifted because nothing's really melted, nothing is jumping out at me as to say, hey, this is really, really, really wrong. One thing that's definitely obvious is I did not use enough copper spray. We're definitely going to have to use more. As you guys can see, this whole thing looks pretty dirty and nasty and everything else. Well, it's because it's been together and apart and everything. What I'm thinking happened here is I think that I may have gone a little crazy by starting with a 300 shot on this. I don't think that it's not doable. Now, you got to keep in mind, what we're using here is a relatively basic Gen 3 5.3 setup. It's nothing crazy. It's not built super special. You know, it's built using inexpensive parts, all the stuff that we can afford. And there's a couple things that went wrong. Number one, I think part of my issue was timing related. And what I mean by that is I saw a couple comments and stuff about timing and this, that, and the other. To be honest with you, I think I used a little too little timing. I took way too much timing out for what we were doing. I went the opposite of what I did, what I normally do, which is, hey, let's send it. And I was like, let's go really, really safe on the timing. And if you guys notice in that video, when the car was taking off and going down, from the side angle, you can see that the headers were glowing. They were glowing red. Well, that's because there's so much timing taken out of the thing. It was producing a lot of heat. So I think one of the things that happened there, I believe that we were taking just way too much timing out. When I used to spray the old LS with 125-ish, 150 shot, whatever it was, we never really knew because the jetting, you know, we didn't have a jet chart for it. We just kind of went bigger than 100. And I never really took any timing out for that. I was running that at like 34 degrees of timing with the spray, and everything was happy. And from there, I was able to take a look at the exhaust, and I could see that the color of the flame just wasn't where we wanted it. I ended up jetting up the nitrous jet a little bit to get us to where it was that bright, beautiful blue flame. It was moving out, everything was happy, and it was working very well. I think this here is unhappy. I don't think that we did anything crazy. I don't think that there's anything, you know, super excessive going on here. I'm not sure what the plan is going to be for the future. I'm going to have to take these heads, and what we're going to do is I'm going to get a nice flat surface, get some sandpaper on it, and I'm going to kind of just skim across it very easily to check for high and low spots. We're going to have to check for high and low spots on both of the heads, and if it looks like it's something that may be fixable, then we might go ahead, get the heads decked, and put it back together this way. If we decide to do that and go that route, there's a couple changes that I think that I would make. One of the changes would be even more torque on the head bolts. I know that, you know, the recommendation or whatever is 75 foot-pounds. I think that maybe, you know, 300 is kind of the limit of some stuff, or we're getting into that dangerous territory of the limit of some stuff. So maybe torquing them down to 85 would be a little bit better. I can tell you guys, I checked them. They were checking out at 75 after heat cycle, everything. It looked good, but this obviously tells me here that, you know, this is combustion gases, this is stuff burning, and it's burning outside of the head gasket area. And since it's burning outside the head gasket area, right by the water ports, it's pressurizing the cooling system. It's crazy because idle driving it around and everything, it didn't really show any signs of that, but it obviously was happening. One of the things I would change is extra torque on the head bolts, or the head studs. Definitely give it more timing. Stop being so scared of the timing and just let that thing eat. You know, that comes from personal experience of what I've done with these before and what made it happy. And I think that pulling 16 degrees of timing out of this thing was just way too much. And creating that much pressure and heat, obviously not a good thing. I think if we could control that a little bit better, it would work out in our favor. What did we learn today? We learned how not to spray 300 through a Gen 353. This is not the way you do it. I'm not saying that I'm reinventing the wheel or doing something that other people have never done, but I'm doing something that I've never done before, and the only way that I'm going to learn is to do it. If I screw something up, analyze what I screwed up, and fix it. I think that if we go that route, I will be able to fix it, and I will get a better handle on it. It might take a couple sets of heads. It might take a couple motors. Doing something like this, 300, you have to understand, in nitrous, that motor probably only makes 350. So we're spraying just about the amount of nitrous that thing makes through it. You know, that's some sketchy territory, and probably should not be handled with such nonchalantness as I give it, as, hey, let's just hit 300 first pass because this is what we need to do. The reason doing that, I believed that it would hold. I didn't believe it would cause us any problem. I truly in my heart believed that. I thought we would be okay. I knew that it would be sketchy, but I thought that I had taken some precautions to kind of help us, but it may just be that the precautions I took, such as extra timing out, were detrimental to this and not actually helping us, but making the situation worse. I'm not sure what the next couple days are going to bring. I've got to check the heads. I've got to check the deck surface of the block. If anything, aluminum heads, iron block, hopefully probably is fine. Really want to go over with a fine-tooth comb, check those pistons, none of them look hurt, and really just get a good grasp on everything to make sure that if we are going to put this back together, that we're giving it the best chance that we possibly can. We may find that after I sand these down, if there is no high or low spots, we might just send it like that as opposed to going and getting the heads decked. That's all going to come in time. We'll figure it out. And unfortunately, your boy is just too stupid to quit. So I don't think that I'm just ready to give up on the LS Nitrous Adventure, the Spray It to the Moon 5.3. I think we still got to spray it to the moon. Maybe I just need to do things a little bit differently and figure it out. Whether or not you guys agree with it, the way that I learn is this right here. I learn by doing, by screwing up, by fixing. Obviously, I'm asking friends for help and, advice and that kind of stuff. But this is the way that I like to learn things. It causes us to not be able to race and have some downtime. But I would much rather do this than just go out there and spray with a 150 shot and know, okay, it's taking it and we're just going to be going pretty slow. We're going to need to move a pretty hefty amount of nitrous through this thing to get the car to move the way I want. That's going to be it for now. I really appreciate you guys always tuning in, always watching these videos, always making them happen. You guys are the absolute best. That's going to be it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one where hopefully we find out if these heads are okay, if we're going to put the car back together again this way, what we're going to do. I don't know yet. All this has just happened and it's very fresh in my mind. I've got some thinking to do and some decisions to make, but I can guarantee you I'm too stupid to quit and we will be racing again. See you guys next time.